Shame. Shame on me.
Okay. Hello, and welcome to an episode of Drunk Josh Thoughts. This is a very special episode of Josh Thoughts, and
Yeah,
it's
it
your
is.
first time on camera. How do you feel?
Oh,
Josh
that's right. There is a
Turner.
camera.
There is a camera. If you are listening on a podcast, please go over to YouTube and watch our tragic video of us actually day drinking, if I have to be honest, because Josh and I have very busy schedules.
Yeah.
And, we came in from Tulsa today to have this content, but all I've eaten today are like cookies, and it's definitely 2:30. So
Breakfast of Champions.
breakfast of champions.
Yeah, make sure you watch the video. You will miss our chainsaw juggling if you are only on the podcast platform. So,
I feel like we're gonna disappoint everyone with no chainsaw juggling content.
well, I did blow that, didn't I?
Well, it's okay. You're just trying to get people to go over to YouTube and to also bump up our views there because it's like
it's the reach, right?
5 people, I think.
Perfect. Good.
What are you drinking, Josh?
I'm starting off with some whiskey, ginger ale, bitters, and a bit of lemon juice. I'm sure there's a name for it, but it's nice easy goer.
I'm gonna have you put our alcohol on one of the many music devices in here.
We got a few.
So before we started recording this video, Josh got very upset with me and snapped at me because I was like, Josh, I really like this piano. Like, I really think that's like a nice, moody, like Josh background. So we're in the music studio. This is like where like the Josh musician magic happens. And he was like, Gianna, like, it's not a piano, it's a pump organ.
It's a pump organ. Yeah.
Please tell us.
I was
about
offended
the pump organ. I just thought it was pretty.
It is. You're right. That is absolutely accurate. So this is a pump organ. My grandpa owned this pump organ, and one of my cousins drove it down here because I really wanted it after he passed away.
From Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wanted it after he passed away, and I got it. I didn't know how I was going to get it, and a cousin was nice enough to drive it down.
It's really nice.
It doesn't really work, though.
It's just for aesthetic.
It looks great. It sounds really great when it did work when I first got it, but then it kind of quickly went out of commission. So,
is there like, how do you fix a pump organ? Like, what's the issue with it?
Well, so the way it works is you got these pedals down here, and you pump air into the organ with your feet manually, and then you play the keys, and then if there's a leak inside, like somewhere in the way the air passes through, if the air escapes and the air is leaked out before it gets to its destination, then it just doesn't work. And that's what the problem is. So I think it is fixable, but it's a pump organ. So it's hard to get out of the house and say, take to the local pump organ shop.
In Edmond, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I know that guy.
So, yeah. Pump Organ Joe. That's
Pump
what they
Organ
call him.
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's a good one. Yeah. This episode of Drunk Josh Thoughts is sponsored by Pump Organ Joe.
Pump Organ Joe. Shout out to him. He's always been there for us.
Well, as always, Josh, we like to give you topics on Josh Thoughts that we know that you can actually respond to, because we know that we set you up to kind of fail with Josh Thoughts, but we just kind of want to know what's been happening in your life. For our Bianca and I call it chitty chatty, and it's become to the point where we might need chitty chatty music from you.
Oh, that'd be great.
I don't know. I feel like we haven't had you on in a while, and like, you've been doing so many cool things. You went to go see Lingua Ignota in person, IRL. And so I wanted to hear about that. So let's start there. I have many Discordia updates for our Pop Tots, but let's start there. How was that?
That was good. Although in just general life, my mind is entirely dominated right now by Matilda, because I'm playing bass in the Matilda musical.
Oh my God, Josh.
Yeah.
I'm so mad at myself that I didn't put in that question. Thank you for bringing that up.
Of course.
Will you? So please remind everybody about your 9 to 5. Like,
yes.
Okay.
So I'm a band director at in a local district here, in the OKC metro area.
Doing them proud.
Yes, of course.
Putting this content into the universe. Yeah.
Yes. Wholesome content for students, but it's I teach 6th through 12th grade band, mostly focused on percussion, and a few years ago, when the high school I teach at is very successful in the drama department, And a few years ago, I started getting involved in the musical productions that they do, and playing bass in the orchestra pit, which is way better than playing percussion. Because although I love playing percussion, there's so much stuff, and I get to watch the people that do play percussion like lug down 15 things with like all these trips and like awkwardly set up, and I just carry out my one bass and I'm like, see ya. And it's great because I've never gotten to do that in my musical life. It's always like me lugging all the stuff and taking 20 trips. So it's nice. And this year the musical was Matilda, and we had our first rehearsal with the cast last night, and it certainly happened.
Oh, that was so lovely of you to say. And it was, and it will be.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the time that it started happened, and the time that it ended also happened, and so that gives you an idea of how it went.
Okay, so Lingua Ignota, how was it?
Oh.
So if you haven't gone to see some of our, or listen to see.
Listen to see.
If you haven't gone to listen, because this is primarily a podcast, one of our Josh Thoughts episodes, was it our first one?
That was the first one.
Our first one, we were really talking about...
Bianca still lived here. No, she was just back during COVID.
Also, right. Speaking of Bianca, yes, she's not here, if you haven't noticed.
Maybe. I don't know.
TBD. Where was I? Yes.
Lingua Ignota.
Previous
Josh Thoughts.
First Josh Thoughts ever. Excellent content where we really get into the metal of it all. And
that was
really
a great episode.
Dissect that artist. I think so too.
Yeah.
So like, fantastic episode. And you went to go see her. Was that your first time seeing
her?
It
was, yeah.
Saw her in Dallas?
Yeah. And so she had, if you go back and listen to that episode, you can hear and understand about what really influenced this project of hers, Lingua Ignota, because her real name is Kristen Hayter, and you can really listen back to like what influenced this Lingua Ignota project and how it came about and where she kind of drew from to write the music that she wrote. And if you ever listen to it, I mean, the music itself is just devastating and like powerful and just soul crushing. And she announced recently that she's going to be wrapping up that era of her career.
Whoa, because interesting.
Yeah, and because it's been, and all the trauma she's been through, even like the first trauma she experienced I guess, I don't know about first, that's not the right way to say it, but like the trauma that really influenced the start of the project, and then even more after that, she said recently that like, it's been helpful and cathartic to just put that out there and process it, but then reliving it over and over again by performing and by writing new material based on that isn't healthy. Sure. And so I think it's really awesome that she's able to like be in a place with success and sustaining her career, that she can say like, okay, this aspect is going to be done. And I mean, her entire fan base had the same reaction of like, great, very happy for you. Can't wait to see what you do next.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that aspect, because there are very like deep topics in metal, and I think like, the stigma is it's all like death and devil, right? Yeah. But it's because that's not a media I consume very often. It's interesting for me to listen to you talk about an artist in this industry talk about how her work is traumatizing and that's cathartic, but she's also setting that boundary and being like, this chapter is done for me. Like, do those conversations about that trauma and like kind of mental health, like in this, like in that part of like the music industry, like what am I trying to say? Like, does that happen a lot? Is that...
Yeah, I would say it does. And especially because it became pretty well known after Lingua Ignota was very well established and very well... Oh no, this is a drunk episode. What's our burp policy? I was gonna let it rip, and I was like, "Wait a minute, no, I can't. That's rude."
This is a classy podcast. When you burp, you drink. How about that? Because we haven't set any like drinking rules.
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
Like, anytime I say piano instead of pump organ, I have to drink.
Right. Yes. But all that to say, there are constantly conversations about like, mental health of
Mhm.
the within the metal community and musicians and all this. And I think
Mhm.
I would say that over the years, and maybe this could be, I've formed an echo chamber for myself, but that's a lot of more positive talk than you might think from
Yeah.
us knuckle dragging metalheads.
I just think, yeah, maybe from my exposure to it via you, what I have experienced is all of your relationships and your stories just seem like very, very healthy. Like overall, like Discordia has been such like a healthy and like lovely experience that I feel like I don't have the stigma of how this metal community has been for you,
Mhm.
but it is such like a niche thing that we do talk about on the podcast, and I do feel like our audience really isn't exposed to this kind of art or this kind of
Mhm.
community either. So to listen to you talk about one like a woman artist in the genre, and also publicly talk about this ending this chapter in her life, and also publicly talking about mental health within the metal community, I just think is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also wanted to go back and just talk about how her music is kind of defined,
Yeah.
and I think kind of lift the veil of just like mysticism of metal. And we've talked about this, but
Yeah.
I think it's always kind of nice to revisit it, like when we do have Josh on. So when you Google Lingua Ignota, she comes up as a multi-instrumental artist, a non-classifiable artist, or a multidisciplinary artist.
Mhm. So
And
what do you need to explain? That's all pretty straightforward.
God,
It's a pump organ.
I feel as though she's a pump organ. God damn. Okay, what I was gonna say is I feel as though all those things are like the same and also not the same. And
Yeah.
like, have you heard like from her mouth, like how does she like describe herself and her art? Because she also puts on this like persona also. So I feel like there's her and then there's also Lingua Ignota, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And the I just am now realizing I talked a lot and didn't even tell you how the show was. It was great. She was good.
I also didn't think I guess here we go.
we got into some heavy territory, so and that was all good.
We're getting it out first.
Yeah.
While it's still appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, actually, to link to the question you just asked and how the show was, it's helpful to talk about because she did 2 sets that night,
Mhm.
and one was all like traditional folk, kind of like gospel songs, which
Oh.
was really cool. And like I think she did "Poor Wayfaring Stranger," which is a really common one, but then she did a lot of other ones that were in the same vein. Um, and like stuff kind of like, I shouldn't do the song, but stuff similar to like "Down to the River to Pray," like stuff kind of like that, like very old roots Southern gospels type stuff, which is a really interesting theme in her music because throughout her whole career, and all her albums, there's always kind of like a liturgical theme. Um, and so I think like leaning really hard into that for this first set, where it's all kind of these are like old gospel songs, but she was doing them, in her style, where like her singing voice is incredible, and she's so expressive with it. But then she was on a piano, where she would just put a bunch of junk inside the piano, and we had Josh thoughts on John Cage. We talked about him a lot, and
he would also be mad at me for not knowing what a pump organ is.
No, I think John Cage might have been the nicest person that's ever lived. Yeah. I'm sad I was 4 when he died and I didn't get to meet him.
What a missed opportunity.
Right. Should have had him on. But
damn.
But she so pretty much, so it's called prepared pianos when you do that, where you kind of like take the piano strings and like wedge like random metal objects in there, so when you hit a note, instead of hearing that note, you see this weird kind of clanky buzz or something kind of like that.
Right.
So she would just toss a bunch of stuff in the piano, kind of set a few things, and then play the piano as normal, but then singing these old gospel songs with this piano just kind of
like out of tune.
Yeah, out of tune. Yeah. The piano sounds like it just lost its mind, and so it's really, really cool hearing that. And then she did a set of all her stuff after the brief intermission. And the show
was
at
her?
No.
Did you get to meet her? She didn't like come out.
Maybe I could. Well, it was in Dallas, and I had to do. I don't remember where I had the next. Here we are.
I love it so much.
I drank, so we're good. um, it's a good episode.
I'm gonna get you fired.
Nah, it's fine. So I don't remember what I had the next day, but I had to drive back after the show from Dallas that night.
Did you go by yourself?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I just like don't know like why I need to like applaud you for that or like why I have such a hard time doing things by myself, but I just like love how like you are into Lingua Ignota and you just like drove to Dallas and went by yourself. Like I just think that's so cool. Like
life's short, do
life's
stuff.
short. I do have a question for you because I was talking with a art Pop-Tart, Claire Titus, who we've had on the podcast, who's an artist and sculptor. But she was talking about how she is part of the Beehive. She's like in a Beyonce stan all the way, right? So she was talking about how she really wanted to get tickets for the Renaissance tour. And she was talking about how much money that she would willingly spend on, you know, to experience, sorry if you heard that beat, to experience music the way that she wants to experience what she loves. And I feel like Bianca and I talk about that a lot and how much realistically would I drop on Lady Gaga tickets?
Yeah.
Like I would drop some money for that. Like what is like your limit on like money for a concert?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
As much as I love Lingua Ignota, she's not like my, like my do or die favorite artist. Like I will do anything. I would say like if Tom Waits announced a show that was like, hey, I'm going to play this show in Alaska and there's 16 tickets and also you have to take a ferry to get there. Sorry. I'd pay almost any amount. Like if you said name an amount, I'm like, all right, cool, we're selling the house, let's do this.
You would have said thank you and here's my money.
Right.
Yeah.
And like and I just anything, whatever. Yeah. So like if Tom Waits does anything before he dies, because that's very sad.
I know.
He's in his 70s and he hasn't had a show since 2012. So
so like if he did have a show, it would also be like, when are you going to perform again? Also,
right. Yeah. So that one is I would pay almost any amount, and like you could name an amount, and if I had it, I would probably pay it.
Right.
Other artists though, I mean like some of my favorite metal. Well, it's I don't know. It's kind of weird because that question for someone like the fandom I guess I'm a part of is weird because like one of my all-time favorite bands, like the posters up in the room over there at Gorguts, like I would pay so much money to see them on almost any capacity, but also my band opened for them. Like I got to go them. I got paid.
I love
to play for them.
I love that. No, yeah, and I feel like that's what I was talking about with Clara Titus again, interviewee that we had on the podcast, because I feel like there is this idea that maybe that is like a very kind of like privileged or like maybe like shallow thing to spend money on, or
sorry, go ahead.
That like there are some people that maybe couldn't understand why you would spend like, let's say, $1,000 on tickets when you could spend that money traveling. But I feel like music is such an integral part of our lives, and it's come to the point where concert experiences are so experiential, and so why wouldn't you want to spend money on that? And some people value that just as much as they would traveling, or like people just like to experience life differently. And so I mean, if you are like hardcore part of that fandom and if that's what you want to spend your money on, like I just think everyone's limit is kind of different. And so I don't know, but you could spend $1,000 on a concert just like easily with like travel and the fit. Because like, Josh, don't you like plan your outfits like when you go to a concert? Don't you like get a new fit?
Sorry, it took me a bit just to realize like the fit. What do you? Okay,
the fit. You gotta be cute. You gotta cut yourself a new black pair of jean shorts. I'm assuming.
No, I don't. The ones I did 6 years ago, they're fine still. So
right. Fun fact about Josh: if you ever go see Discordia, he is always wearing the same pair of shorts.
Yeah, or pants. Ones. It was pretty cold at our last show, so I was wearing pants. But like several years ago, I was like, you know what? Like it's summer, it's hot. I'm gonna cut some short jean shorts that are black, and it was great. Wow, so much freedom of movement. But also on that topic, I guess of like different, the fandoms. It varies a lot, which is what we're kind of talking about.
Right.
tomorrow I'm going to see. Oh, tonight. Tonight I'm going to see my favorite string quartet.
Oh, cool.
10 years ago, when I was in grad school at OU, I got to see the Miro Quartet perform three
Yes.
the Razumovsky Beethoven quartets. And if you know about the Razumovsky Beethoven quartets,
Obviously.
which everyone does,
Obviously.
like they're almost like they're one of the many pinnacles in the string quartet genre.
Mm.
They're incredible. And I got to see the Miro Quartet play all three of them in one night, and it was. I am so sorry, but also is that content? Is that what people want?
I didn't know. Do you get like really burpy?
I
when you
didn't know
drink?
either. This is really embarrassing that this is happening like on a medium where lots of people will hear it.
I'm going.
I
to
didn't
keep
think
it
that
in.
I didn't think that was a thing for me, but it
I
is today.
need everyone to know that Josh has 3 beers, 1 can of ginger ale, and his drink on a drum pad right
Yeah.
now. It's a very cute little setup.
It
It's
is.
very on brand for Josh.
I got that drum pad in 2002.
Just like your jean shorts.
Just like my jean shorts. Yes. Anyway, I'm not gonna drink all of that. Maybe we'll see. But yes, like so 10 years ago in grad school, saw this quartet play. It was unbelievable. I still constantly think about that as like that's one of my highlights of seeing live music, watching these 4 players play amazing music. And it was like all 4 of them had one brain.
Yeah.
And then I saw recently that they announced a concert they're going to do at OBU in Shawnee. So I'm driving out to Shawnee tonight for a free concert.
That's
like it's
great.
free.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Totally.
So once again, like that's the one that I would pay a lot of money for, but it's free. So.
Yeah. I love it. Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. I just thought that was an interesting question. And
I like that question.
part of the reason we were talking about that was because we were watching the Grammys on last Sunday.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Did you watch the Grammys, Josh?
I always watch. Was it the Grammys? Is that what you said? Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yes, because we all know you're really into that like
Uh-huh.
mainstream pop culture.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did the Miro Quartet play that night?
They did.
They did? Okay. I bet
And
they
you
killed
missed
it,
it,
right?
so you're not really
Okay.
like, I don't know if you're really like big of a fan, is all
Yeah.
I'm saying. So if you didn't tune in. Okay, I just need a little update on Discordia
Mhm.
before we get into most of this episode. I just want to know, like, what have we all been missing in the underground Oklahoma death metal scene? Like, we just need an update on our favorite dad band.
Yeah. So, well, we tend to go pretty quiet throughout the fall. I get very, very busy with work in that season of the year with, just kind of what the demands are for that time of the year for school music. And so we don't do it too much. So our first live performance was, our first show was this past, or a couple of Saturdays ago. I don't know.
What was it 2 weekends ago? Because it's
Was it?
Jameson's birthday weekend, wasn't
That's
it?
right. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes. So I had went straight from birthday party to death metal show.
Day in
but-
life.
Yeah, exactly. Dad metal, like you said.
Yeah.
So that was our first live show in a while, but we did quite a few shows last summer, and it was awesome because our last times really getting out was 2019,
Yeah.
and so we couldn't tour 2020. We could have toured 2021, but it was still very is a hard call to make at that
Yeah.
point, since we have to plan quite a ways out. So getting out again was really awesome. Getting to see some people that we had not seen in a while was awesome. Play with lots of bands we've played with many times over the years in other states. Fantastic. So that was really good. And then, our new album was very well received, and the artwork was heavily complimented, of course.
This
so-
episode is biased because Gianna did artwork and
Yes, and it was awesome.
and it's
And there's
awesome.
a banner hanging up. There's a banner of it. Words is hard. There's a banner of it hanging up over there in the room.
Really great banner.
Yeah.
Do I get one of those banners?
I thought we gave you one. Did we not?
No, I bought a t-shirt. You did give me a CD.
Oh shoot!
I need
okay.
an album though,
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah. We'll give you a vinyl
Yeah.
when they come in.
Yeah.
They're still not in yet. When they're in, we'll give you a vinyl.
When is this like supply shortage situation going to be over? I feel like everything. And like
Yeah.
when I'm talking about like paper. Like I have to order like invitations a lot, like for my like
Oh,
9 to 5.
geez, yeah.
And there's like still an issue with like paper goods. And
Jeez.
I know. So I'm really over it
Yeah.
because I really want my Discordia vinyl.
Yeah, it'll be in soon. We'll get you one. We talked about getting new banners or more banners, and when we do, we'll get you one. Yeah, we'll hook you up. Yeah, I guess. I'm kidding, obviously.
I'm not sure. I really don't know anymore.
So yeah, so we're also, you know, heavily in the planning phase and the writing phase for the next album.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, we always kind of are cycling ideas and discussing things, so it's out there.
What are those ideas? What are you discussing? Give us can you give us an inside scoop?
Sure, yeah, why not? Well, so our next album, we're thinking like we want to go, and this I'm gonna keep it very vague. We want to go like somewhat of a lunar theme.
Okay.
And I think that will leave a lot of room for, well, there's a wealth of creativity you could have in that theme.
Yeah.
And since I tend to direct the lyrics, I will dive a lot into anti-capitalist, leftist scum themes. So that'll be what it's going to be. I'll figure out a way to work it in.
Isn't that what the last album was? Though?
Yeah, it was. Well, 3 of the songs, maybe more of the songs. Yeah.
Yeah. So Triptych was all about like, I feel like, how did you describe it to me? On the wheel of capitalism.
Yeah, just like being chained to the wheel of capitalism,
Yeah.
but also realizing that you're not chained. You're holding onto it yourself because you're conditioned to think that's the only way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's basically the same vibe.
Yep.
Cool.
But more creative, a different creative
yeah,
soundscape for it.
Yeah, I like the kind of lunar ideal. I feel like, what am I trying to say? Like with the different like chapters of Triptych, and it was all kind of like a circle of life. It was kind of like cyclical.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of giving me that same vibe. Like I feel like there's
Yes.
always kind of like a story that kind of like loops back around. Like Lunar's kind of giving me that. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Because we work best, I think, when we have a topic or a story or a concept we can work off of. Because our EP before Triptych, Binge Purge, it was kind of all in the
Binge Purge.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know why. It's like when you said gore
guts.
Gore guts. I was like really trying to keep it together. I'm sorry.
I noticed that. I clocked that. But the
you can't say gore guts like nonchalantly.
I guess that's
when I am
that's the thing
drinking.
That's the thing that it's a weird thing for people with my kind of fandom of like, oh yeah, totally gore guts, or like I would just casually like not even think about like, oh yeah, blood incantation, yeah, totally. And people are like, what words did you just say? Or I'm like, oh yeah, that new Dying Fetus album, killer. And I think that's totally
that one
normal.
I love that one,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, and like that's totally normal, but yeah. I kind of forget because I only think about it when I'm discussing it with like-minded people, but then like if I just talk about it to someone that doesn't.
No, I know, and like I want to be like cool, and like I want to like show you that like no, like I can vibe with like gore guts, but like we all know that like I'm not cool, and like I'm just like I'm a death metal poser
or am I
over here.
Not cool? Am I the weird one?
I don't know. I think we're too. I can't speak for you, but I think I'm getting a little bit too intoxicated to really hash that one out right now.
Love it. So, but back on like the general underground metal, Oklahoma local metal thing, like you were asking about. You know, I mean, I'm a suburban dad, sort of just by default, so I don't always stay connected to like, you know, what the hip youth are doing. But I do want to give a shout out to the Sanctuary, which is a recent place. They're about a year old now. I think they started about February of last year, so I think they're about a year old now, and it's a really, really cool venue in Oklahoma City. It's on 10th Street, close to the fairgrounds, so like 10th and May ish. It's kind of like the general crossroads, and a really cool place. And I think I've been there many, many times now, and every time I go there, my big takeaway is that there's always a lot of young people there, which is cool. I don't know who any of them are. None of them
Right.
know who Discordia is. None of them care, but they all go to this place to just like have a good time and be
Mhm.
invested in like just cool local stuff.
Yeah.
Which I think is really, really cool because I see some kids there that I like, and maybe, you know, I might chat with, you know, some bands that just played or just some people I see there a few times.
Right.
And like, I discovered a lot of these kids are like 18 years old, like even younger than that. Or like I'm pulling up as like kids are hopping out of a van because their parents are dropping them off and they go inside.
Right.
So I think it's really, really cool that there's this place that like people know they can just go to, have a great time. And there's signs posted all over the place, like, you know, like if someone's being a creep, tell us. If someone's,
Right. I was gonna say it
yeah,
sounds like a very like established like safe environment for like people of
yes,
all ages. Cause like what was metal like for you? Because like you were like very emo in high school. So like what was like like from the pictures I've seen of like high school Josh, like it was giving like not like
it was very
not
hot.
like Panic of the Disco emo,
No,
like metal emo.
it was very Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Early 2000s Hot Topic
But
was,
just
was
like
my
what
vibe
like what was it
because
like?
I didn't know anything. I was a suburban dork.
But like what was it like trying to like experience metal music when you in Oklahoma when you were in high school? Like was it it a safe experience? Did it even exist? Like
yeah, and you know, I can't say too much about it because there are people that, you know, were going to shows all the time at that period, and I was only going to like a handful of shows here and there. So I can't say I like had my finger on the pulse at that time.
Right.
But there, I do remember going to some shows in the Rock and Roller Rink. Yeah.
I love the Rock and Roll
Yeah.
Rink. Get out of here. It's a stupid basketball gym now.
Is
and
it?
doesn't exist anymore. It was a roller skating rink and it was like 50s theme and it was so cute.
Well, I think like because they had a venue and I think it was called like the Racket Room or something like that. I went to see a few shows there and like
That's so cute.
yeah, and like so I'd see these like punk bands, and I guess I did kind of burp just a little bit. So I see these like kind of local punk bands, basically just like friends of mine. Their band, like I saw a couple shows there, but I wasn't, you know, going to all the shows out there. So
yeah,
hard to say.
I just remember thinking that too, like when I just think of like some other kind of experiences in like the Oklahoma community, like when I would try to go see drag shows in high school, like there was one place where I could go see a drag show being like under the age of 18, and then like even then like trying to find a place where you could go to see drag shows when you weren't 21, and it was just kind of like I don't think those environments were unsafe. It was just like more difficult, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you know, I think no matter where you go, there's always a bunch of dummies and what have you. But I think I've never been in a place in Oklahoma where it's like this is you know, unsafe or whatever. And because one place that's been around basically forever for Oklahoma metal or kind of DIY is currently 89th Street, previously the Conservatory, previously the Green Door. Maybe some before that too, but that would have been before my time. But that place has been a long time. And like, it's funny to talk to bands, like I'll tour around the US and I'll tour around the US and discover like, and just chat with the band from Tennessee or Utah or whatever. And they, you know, one of their members played the conservative
Utah metal. I'm sorry. I just think, I hope it's like some good, like, Mormon content.
I just pulled that state out of nowhere. We've only played Utah once, and it was weird. Fun but weird.
Yeah,
but
it's so a like beautiful state.
Oh
it's
yeah,
gorgeous.
Oh yeah, like driving into Salt Lake City was just like, this is incredible. But the Conservatory / Green Door / whatever, you know, it's been over the years, was always infamous for the horrendous state of the bathrooms.
Oh, sure.
And so, you know, it can't really stack up to the bathrooms you all discussed in your bathroom episode. Great episode, by the way. The
bathroom episode. That's still one of our favorites.
Oh, it's a great one. Yeah.
I just think what an interesting space the bathroom is, right?
So the old Conservatory actually, maybe they would fit, but like in an anti-way, because they were notorious for being disgusting. Anyway, so
some good liquid sounds over here. Sorry.
So that's always been a great place. But so the Sanctuary, I think, I really feel like is like the place right now where, like, if you're a kid.
Oh, sorry.
You all right?
Yeah, sorry. I killed the bottle. It's a little strong.
Pretty, yeah. Should mix in some whiskey to take the edge off?
Yeah, probably not.
Um,
Do you need to mellow that rum out with some whiskey?
Yeah, right. Totally. But if like you're a kid in the Oklahoma City metro area and you just like want a place to just,
To chill the sanctuary.
to chill, be yourself, because they've, I mean, like, of course,
they also
I go
have
to
local vendors. They have like artists there, don't
Yeah.
they, at the sanctuary?
and wide range of shows, hip hop shows, pop shows, like shoegaze, emo, metal, of course, and like so all like big range of shows. But yeah, they'll do like these kind of periodic local artist showcase type things, and I've got some cool stuff there. But then one of the coolest things that I love about the place is that by day it's not a metal venue or a local music venue. By day it's like a curio oddities shop.
Yeah.
And I could spend every cent I have in this place. It is so cool. All of like the knickknacks and like kind of odd things that I think I kind of like antique stores for just kind of, pass by all like the general antiques that you'll find anywhere, and then find the weird little things like that stuff I love. And that is what this place is packed full of. So the day store, the name is Beloved Bones. So I would encourage anyone in the Oklahoma City metro area, any art pop tart, our words is hard.
We really set up
tarts
ourselves to fail with what we called our consumers of art pop.
I think it's a great
talk.
Name, but not when you've had a lot to drink.
I struggle with this. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, cool.
Like I feel like it's
as a chronic mumbler, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
So thank you. But so the place I think is awesome. Anyone who's interested in kind of like just generally interesting art, generally kind of off the beaten trail kind of stuff.
Good vibes.
Like you can walk in there and just like your eyes go wide with all the cool stuff. Like
what's on
behind
have
us.
some stuff?
Yeah, we do. I got this candle holder there. It's very cool.
Yes.
And a couple like little vase things that I absolutely love. I don't know what this is, but I got it there and it's cool. I don't know. It's like you could put like some kind of very tall, maybe reeds in there.
Ceramic? I think it's just
it's
vase,
ceramic.
Josh.
Well, yeah, but like it's so like the shape is so
it's
very
shape.
tall and there's a weird face on it. It's cool. It also makes a cool sound. You can't deny that's cool.
That's very cool. Josh is also very into sounds.
Yeah, my prized possession though from the sanctuary / Beloved Bones, probably this crystal ball.
I love it.
Who does not like a good crystal ball?
I love that you have a crystal ball. It also has like a little like candle.
There's a fake candle down there. When it's dark, it looks cool. When it's light like it is now, it would be underwhelming.
Am I allowed to touch the crystal
ball? You are, yeah. That is
it just like glass?
A solid hunk of. That's a crystal ball. Feel
okay.
It.
Wait, it is heavy.
Yeah, it's a crystal ball.
I don't own a crystal ball, so I'm not well versed in crystal ball knowledge.
Yes.
But
so
this is premium content.
It is. So podcast only listeners are missing out
on crystal ball content.
Juggled some chainsaws.
I love it. It really fits the vibe of the not piano.
The pump organ.
The pump organ.
Yes.
Excuse me. How dare I forget the name of the pump organ? Okay, so I think that kind of wraps it up for Josh Chitty Chatty. So I think we need to get into the Josh thoughts of it all. So
let's do it.
Like in a normal Josh Thoughts, we ask Josh what his thoughts are on general pop culture, art happenings.
Things that I know a lot about.
Things that he's an expert about. So we really just set him up to succeed for these segments. In the later half of this episode, we are going to be conferencing Bianca in because, as you've noticed, she's not here. She does not live here. I don't know where she is or like where does she live? Like she's not here.
I thought she was like in another room.
Do I even do this podcast with her? Does she even exist? Like I have no idea. So
I was gonna ask a question that'll go completely off the rails. I'm not gonna do it.
We know you have to do it.
Yeah, you're right. What if you just discovered that someone you thought was there your entire life just wasn't?
I don't like that.
Okay, cool.
That yeah. I'm not sober enough for that question. I don't like that at all. No, that really freaks me out.
All right, we're good. Let's move on then.
Okay, I will have to move on. So Bianca will be conferencing later on to ask us some Fast and Furious trivia questions, which is probably not going to go well. So definitely
Yeah.
stick around for that. But before that happens, Josh,
Yeah.
I need to know your thoughts on a couple things.
Yeah, I'm just sitting back so that my expertise can just flow out.
Okay. So, how do you feel about mummies getting canceled?
Those bastards had long enough, and for all I care, they know what they did. They know what they did, so they deserve it. They deserve it.
What is it that they did?
You can't just do that. You can't just do that.
You can't just do what though?
What mummies did, right? Like
be alive at one point.
Depends on a lot of things. Let's be honest. Name one thing it doesn't depend on.
I was really happy to ask you this question.
Yeah?
And now I'm even happier.
Yeah. Good. They know what they did. They deserve everything they get. They should be canceled. Mummies. Get out of here.
What about like the content surrounding mummies? Like what are we gonna do?
The content surrounding mummies, generally gauze and sarcophagi. So let's get those out too, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Does let me ask you this: like, does Brendan Fraser like have to now be canceled for being affiliated with mummies?
No, because he was fighting mummies. He was the original charge in this, so he's our champion. That's what we're talking about, right?
Okay.
Because he was fighting the mummy.
Yes.
Who did
the original mummy fighter,
right.
Brendan Fraser. This is facts. This is history.
Yeah. So he's our hero.
Of course.
Yes.
Actually, I will say Brendan Fraser is like everything. So he could never be canceled. I won't even joke about that actually.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I feel as though I want to provide some context, not for Josh, but for everybody else listening. So apparently we're not allowed to say mummies anymore.
Because they know what they did.
Because they know what they did.
Get out of here.
So there was a recent CNN article that came out that I thought would be perfect to talk about for Josh thoughts, because I feel like my social media is very targeted towards obscure art news stories, which is how I provide content for the podcast. Josh's social media feed probably looks very different, but I did see on CNN that museums are essentially rebranding ancient Egyptian remains, saying that museums are pushing for the term, quote, mummified person, or to use the individual name to emphasize that they were actually once living people. The new language will help to break away from the, quote, supernatural conspiracy, legends, and myths about mummies.
Ah, that's different from what I said. Okay. I understand now.
Oh my god. I might be dying. I don't know what that like wheeze was. I did think that was interesting because like that's great. Museums like get on board with like doing something with your collection of human remains, but also I think this goes back to our conversation about should museums be even having human remains, and what does it look like to actually have bodies on display? So you can talk about how like I just think it's interesting that museums are wanting to get on board with cancel culture and being like all PC now, like, oh hey, like don't say mummy anymore, guys. It's mummified.
Is that
person.
their biggest problem?
But like you have a fucking body on display, and like now you're like telling me all of a sudden that like I'm not being politically correct by calling it a mummy, where it's like I'm not sure that we're actually handling these human remains properly, and that you didn't obtain it properly either.
Yeah. Should you have those, or should the people that it means
so maybe you give
those
human remains back to their original burial site or to that original population of people, and then that original population of people can tell me how we should define them.
Yes.
I understand that with museums and educational institution comes knowledge and growth, and like I want to be like amenable and respectful to that, of course. Like I do want to learn from these institutions, but there seems to be kind of like some hypocrisy about this that I just don't know if I'm on board with.
Yeah. And I had not heard about this, shockingly. I don't know if you could tell by my response that I had not like.
No, you seemed in the know. It's fine. You did good.
I nailed it, I thought.
You nailed it. Okay, good,
yeah.
Good. You nailed it.
But
we're about to actually conference Brendan Fraser in to talk about how he feels about it.
Seriously? Our hero. And also, maybe a bigger point here, I'm saying that very sarcastically, they're saying like we want to get away from the supernatural mythological thing. Why not lean into that? That's badass.
Oh,
That's badass.
interesting point. Interesting point.
Tell everyone your
Interesting
museum is
point.
haunted. You'll get so many more people. I guarantee it.
So I just don't even know how to segue from that, so I'm just gonna ask Josh another question.
Hard left.
Hard left. Skirt. Have you watched Kunk on Earth? And it was really funny because I was talking about this on our Pop Talks the other day. I think I called it Chunk on
You
Earth.
did. I noticed that.
Yeah. I was like,
I was like, she just called it Chunk on Earth.
I did call it Chunk on Earth, and I was completely sober.
But
Sorry,
go ahead.
No, but I thought it was kind of interesting because Bianca and I were talking about mockumentary content, and I know how much you love mockumentaries, and also Josh really likes like dry like British humor. I feel like you consume a lot of like British humor, and so I feel like something like a mockumentary really comes from British humor. And so I wanted to know your hot takes on if you had watched like Kunk on Earth, because that actress, and I'm sorry I cannot remember her name because this is drunk Josh thoughts, was on that like dark satire with Ricky Martin. Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin. That's definitely it. Yep.
It's definitely Ricky Gervais. It's definitely Ricky Gervais. Gianna's brain's not really working.
Oh, I love that.
On that dark satire with Ricky Gervais.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no comeback from that one.
That's all right. That's all right. We needed that.
About like death and like mourning the loss of like your loved one. And so that's how I first noticed her, but I didn't know if you consume that, since I feel like, or just like your hot takes on mockumentaries.
I'd like to. That was, like I said, we needed that.
We needed that. That was great.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah. Well, Ricky Gervais that guy sucks. I don't like him.
Do you really not?
No.
Oh my god, can we talk about this?
Well, he was like I think he's such a prime example of the guy who can just bash trans people in his stand-up content and then say, no, I've got trans friends, it's cool.
Interesting.
And like, and my trans friend said it was okay, so it was fine.
Interesting.
And like, and it's not an outright bashing in his stand-up material that he does, but like it's fun at the expense of.
Do you feel
in a big way
the same way? Because I view in a lot of ways like Ricky Gervais's perspective on comedy the same way Dave Chappelle does, in terms that everything is nothing is off limits. And I feel like if we're talking about also the comedy in a comedy routine talking about trans people, the same thing happened with Dave Chappelle. Like, what are your thoughts on him?
I think I totally get the idea of like nothing's off limits, it's just comedy, it's a joke, and there's a time and place and there's a space for like we can take a heavy topic and have a laugh.
Yeah.
But I think there are, and I can't be the one, and no one person can be the one to say these things you can't do that with, these things you can't do that with. Yeah. It's so like there's just no way you can no one person can do that. So I think it's kind of whatever. But I think there are people don't always understand how easily comedy can normalize, and I think someone like Ricky Gervais or Dave Chappelle normalizing or giving someone who already has like some maybe either explicit or implicit anti-trans bias, like even that person doesn't understand how hearing a joke about it can just reaffirm and cycle and just like strengthen an anti-trans position and say like, oh yeah, that's funny, and like then they cycle jokes, and then it's just then it's all about like, okay, now this trans person that didn't really have like a voice to begin with, maybe just because in the whole scenario just like is now marginalized and the butt of a joke once again. Right. And James Acaster, like he's an international treasure, another British comedian, has a whole thing in his last big stand-up special that he did. Talking about how like, oh, I've got this edgy, challenging brand of comedy, and if you don't like it, then you can just not listen, whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, that's great. You know who's long overdue a challenge? The trans community. Like,
Yeah.
like, do you like? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that kind of summed up my thoughts pretty well with him, with that kind of take on it. With just like, I get it. Like, I there are a lot of things that I laugh about that, some off color jokes that I think are
right.
I might say, yeah, it's just a joke, and that's why I think it's so touchy. But personally, I'm not going to consume Ricky Gervais stuff. I'm not going to bash anyone that does, but that's my opinion.
Interesting.
So those are my thoughts on it, since I was asked to expound upon it.
You were. And I appreciate that. No, I think that was a very eloquent thought, and very impressed with your thoughts, because I clearly am really not holding down the fort here. Apparently I just want to talk about Ricky Martin content.
Ricky Martin. That's got to come up so many more times.
Amazing.
But anyway,
drink every time you say Ricky Martin.
Drink Ricky Martin. But Kunk on Earth.
Kunk on Earth, not Chunk on Earth.
I have not watched too much. I have not watched almost anything yet. Just a few clips here and there. But Adrienne, my beloved wife and photographer of ATP, she mentioned it to somebody and turned to me and said, "I think you'll really like this." And she was absolutely right.
Yeah.
I watched a few clips. I was like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And her interviews with people, I want to dive more into those, because I don't know anything about her background. I just saw some clips. I'm like, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Reminded me a lot of Ali G, the Ali G show.
Yeah.
Oh, like those. That was like peak.
Yeah.
Like satire brilliance, I thought.
I figured, like, when I saw it, it was the satire of it. I felt like it was right up your alley.
Yeah.
And I love the whole kind of idea of like this satire, like Planet Earth-esque kind of show. She starts and goes back to like cave paintings, which is really great. So she expands upon like first civilization, and then it just builds up from there.
And just talking like just hilariously ignorantly the whole time.
It's good.
I'm looking very much forward to consuming that.
So I feel as though, so that's great, right? We're getting like a taste of the satire. Kunk on Earth kind of lends itself to kind of like a drunk art history kind of satire. I feel like, so it's kind of giving that, but it's not quite like a mockumentary. I feel like in the kind of specific content that I've been craving, which is something that is like Parks and Rec-esque, Office-esque within some kind of art space. Like, it'd be great to have like a Michael Scott gallerist or an auctioneer. Can you imagine the chaos?
Oh, it'd be great. Like,
glorious.
When you all were talking about that on your last episode, I thought that was
fantastic.
I was visualizing it, and it sounded like
we have the best ideas. I mean, I'm telling you,
like him up on the stage giving, like when he was doing the speech thing for that big business conference, whatever it was.
Oh,
Dwight
when he like
pounding
his fists of.
But then Michael like trying to do the warm-up speech and failing miserably. Like if he was doing that as an auctioneer, like or like a similar character,
vamp up like the wealthy New York elites, like of the auction house.
And he goes up and he's trying to imitate an auctioneer, but it's just gibberish because he can't actually do it.
And he's just like, hey, but $5 sold for -2 cents. Like,
exactly.
Like,
exactly. God. And then everyone's just like,
I'm like this close to quitting my day job and to like committing to this, because if you tell me that I have something here, I will just do it.
I will back you with my teacher salary of 4 jelly beans a year.
Oh no. I do have a question actually about a little bit more about your day job later.
Shoot. Oh no. Sorry, that's horrible, disgusting noises. I apologize. I cracked it open like a badass, if I do say so myself, and then it immediately started fizzing over. So we're good.
I really love
nothing spilled.
The people listening to this on audio just getting all these like liquid sounds.
We've juggled so many chainsaws and they have no idea.
Well, also, okay, on Kunk on Earth, she compares mummification to Gwyneth Paltrow's spa treatment, which I thought was really funny, just to give you like a teaser if you haven't watched it of like some of the satire in there, because I kind of feel like that's on point.
I know what that means.
Are you not a consumer of Gwyneth Paltrow's health and wellness?
I mean, I like going to a spa. It's nice.
Do you want to come to my bachelor party and go to a spa?
You don't want me to come to your bachelor party.
I feel like I would actually love if you came to my bachelor party. I feel like that would be so
you
much
said you
fun.
loved Theben there in your last episode.
Oh, Bianca said that. I
Okay.
wanted to do like
remember that,
everybody,
yeah.
but then it was just like,
Side note, since you talked about the bachelorette party in the last episode, good episode.
Thank you.
I want to give a shout out to say I am so excited for Theben's bachelor hiking trip.
Yeah.
I am like, that's going to be the highlight of 2023 for me, probably.
Okay.
And the wedding,
Okay.
of course. And the
Yeah.
wedding, of course. But like, I'm so excited.
I feel like we should ask you, like, have you been to like a bachelor party before? What is your experience with that? What do you feel like is like the point or like the contemporary point of like a bachelorette party? Like what is it? What can it be?
I like the traditional bachelor. I say traditional, as you all pointed out on the episode. It is a very recent thing. Like it's
Right.
not like we don't have like centuries of this is how this developed or whatever. But I don't like the, I guess, stereotypical, you might say, bachelor party now. I can't say anything about that. Like the stripper and you're gonna go bar hopping and you're gonna
Right.
whatever. Oh, I gotta drink. I just burped. But I don't know. Like I my bachelor party experience is very limited.
Mm.
Mine was great.
Mm.
We played drinking. Well, no, we did laser tag.
Oh, fun.
Awesome. I had a blast doing that. Kino, who has asthma, I felt very bad for him because like they get the fog going.
Right.
And like he was really struggling with the fog and like running around with the right. He was really struggling. I felt very bad for him. I remember like coming around the corner and he was like leaning down like
I'm
like,
too old for this, man.
yeah, but are you okay? And he's like, I'm fine. And we're in our 20s at that point, so it's just like we should be totally fine. But I felt very bad for Kino that day. But laser tag was awesome. We went back to my best man's house, Adam Bruce, and we just like just basically chilled out. Like had very low key, had some beers and like whatever, just hang out. The next day we got and played golf, and then went to the wedding. So that was cool.
Did you play golf? Are you a golfer?
No, at the time I did, like occasionally, and
this is not giving.
No,
like I play golf.
My views on golf now are it is a extremely exclusive white privilege bullshit game. Golf is the worst. Every golf course in the world should be shut down. It is a resource sucking parasite, the game of golf. Exclusionary resource sucking parasite.
Golf is trash. Next Discordia song.
Hell yeah.
Golf is trash.
Done and done.
I love it. I'll do some like great artwork of like a golf course with like the devil coming out.
I think purely just like the game of it hitting the balls. It was fun. Like it was
sure.
I had a great time at the bachelor party.
It was like fun to do at your bachelor party. Yeah. I love the way that Theben described what he wanted for his bachelor party. And part of the reason why Theben wanted to do something separate was because he was saying when is the next opportunity I'm going to have to just be able to like sit down with like my future brother-in-laws and my brother and my best friend, you know what I mean? And just like Theben is really into like getting to know people and like having those like deep conversations. And I feel like you guys just like in the middle of the woods, just kind of like getting into deep conversations. I just love that.
Oh, I'm so
and I
excited.
love how like I will be doing the exact opposite.
Well,
but it's like to each their own. And like, and I just loved how like what his experience was just different from mine, so it did make sense to just do different things and to just have that kind of like bonding time. I just thought was like so awesome. And like you love hiking, like Theben thinks he's like a woodsman, which is super cute, and I just love it. Well, come back in one piece.
It's gonna be great. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
It'll be great. I'm so excited. But we've got a lot of stuff to do. I got to work on my mockumentary, and I don't, so we'll see what's going to happen with that. Okay, segueing my terrible segue into my next question for Josh.
Yes.
Is what did you think about Doja's stunning outfit at the Haute Couture Summer 2023 Schiaparelli show? I mean, she looked amazing, didn't she?
Oh, I mean, if you are talking about Doja and the fit I mean, like, what can you say about it, right? Because let's say it on three, right? Let's say it on three. Here we go. One, two, three. She was
literally stunning.
I was gonna say that too.
Literally stunning.
I was gonna say that too.
And she was literally sparkling.
Yes, I was not gonna
Obviously.
say bad or canceled. And those were not equal outcomes in my mind of what this might have been.
Right. And she was wearing the dominating color of what?
Jewel green.
Jewel green.
Like a
Of
nice...
course. We all remember Doja's stunning look in jewel green.
Yeah.
That will go down in history.
Thank you for reaffirming. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So
amazing.
Those are my thoughts. And like that fit was
the fit of all fits.
Right.
Before we conference in Bianca, we do want to talk about the Met Gala theme.
Of
so
course, yes.
I would like to talk about Karl Lagerfeld, a line of beauty. Tell us your thoughts, Josh.
I love lines. I've always been a fan. And if they're beautiful lines, like a line of beauty, I'm in. So as soon as they announced that, I was like, here we go. A line of beauty. For me, a lifelong line fan. Hell yeah. Sign me up,
What do you love about
Karl.
lines the most?
They just go, right? Name a line that doesn't go. I'll give you time. Go ahead. See, you can't.
I cannot argue with you. Lines in terms of, like first point perspective, third point perspective, like they just keep going.
They go
within a visual sense. Like lines are very important.
Yeah. So and especially if it's a beautiful line, a line of beauty. And I'm like, Karl, this is classic Karl. Classic Karl. He's always like lines of like the lines. Like
right.
You just
classic Karl.
So I look at Karl Lagerfeld stuff, I'm like, oh, those lines I love. Lifelong fan.
Right.
So I'm in.
Right.
I'm in. I 100% that. 100% support that for the Met party.
What about the fact that he was like a terrible person? Do you still support it?
What?
So, to provide a little bit of context for
yes,
Karl
you had some episodes on
Lagerfeld.
this.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember this. Okay.
A controversial designer. So,
Yes.
He's a designer for Chanel and Fendi and
that's bad.
also has his own line. Yes. Chanel aside has a very interesting history with, its relationship to Coco Chanel, in which he reps. But aside from that,
and Fendi, my knowledge of Fendi is Austin Powers based.
Tell us more.
So there's a scene in Austin Powers where number 2 is offering Austin Powers a briefcase full of money for
Austin Power things.
I haven't watched Austin Powers in so long. It's so good.
I know you mentioned that, and I was like,
yeah.
I love
how you have this.
I love that you brought up an obscure pop culture reference, so I want you to tell me more.
So there's that scene. Oh man, I haven't even seen the third one. Like, there was a third one. I saw the first 2,
1, 2, 3, yeah,
and just loved them.
Yeah,
quality content.
Should we go watch Austin Powers after this?
We probably should.
I can't drive home, so.
So you have Austin Powers. Like, there's a deal being done where like number 2 is giving the briefcase full of money. We'll give you however many dollars for whatever they're going to do. And Austin opens up the briefcase. We're on first terms, Austin and me. And he like thumbs through the money. It's funny because he like just thumbs through it, listens to it, and he says like, "You're $800 something short, baby." He probably says that. And
Mr. Powers, I have a business proposition you might find very interesting. In this briefcase is $1 billion.
You're $832 short, baby.
I had to buy the case.
Ah, so in essence, I'm buying the case. But what if I don't like the case?
It's a nice case.
No, it's a lovely case.
It's offended.
I like the case. I don't like the idea of not getting a choice in the matter. I mean, here I am. I've got this case.
I've had enough.
And number two is like, well, I had to buy the briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't. You're short the money. He's like, well, no, it's a nice briefcase. Like, I know it's a nice briefcase. But like, you shouldn't be short that money. Number two goes, it's a Fendi. It's a nice briefcase.
I love
And then-
that you are
And then
putting this so much.
And then Austin Powers goes, I just don't like that I didn't get a choice in the matter. And that is my knowledge of Fendi.
Amazing. Literally amazing. That makes me so happy. I feel like I'm going to write that whole thing on your tombstone now. I love it so much. That brings me so much joy.
All right, well, I'm glad that'll be on my tombstone.
What do you think about the Met Gala host? Because they were announced.
Oh,
Those
right.
celebrities.
Yeah. So this is a big one, right? Because it's all every year people are like, okay, who's going to be the Met Gala?
It's
hosts?
actually once every 5 years.
Like I said,
I'm just kidding.
right?
It's every year.
Okay, nice. Is it, what? Is it
You were like once every 5 years.
I would have believed you. You could have said any number. I would have said, yep. But anyway, yeah. So like we're always waiting for the hosts, and it's always like, okay, oh, this year it's finally it's Austin Powers, and we're happy about it, right?
I would love an exhibition that was actually like honoring the aesthetic of like Austin
That'd be
Powers.
great.
Very like
Kind of womanizer
70s,
though. Let's
like
be honest.
futurized. Yeah, I mean like not all the jokes were winners. But
Satire,
yeah,
satirical.
satirical.
A satirical host would probably be welcome.
Well, I actually don't really have any thoughts about the hosts. They're just celebrities who are hosting, and
That
I
sounds
don't
lame.
have any hot takes on it.
That sounds lame.
Yeah.
I think. Well, yeah.
Yeah. We've got a sports person, we've got an actor,
Great.
actress, we've got a singer. Yeah, I don't know, just celebrities being celebrities, right? And I'm just bitter because I'm not invited. So
You know what? From me, you are cordially invited to the Met.
that means nothing to me.
The Met hang. The Met.
The Met hang.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do with you? All right, everyone. Well, again, I don't have a segue into our little bit of a break. I'm just going to end on that disappointing note of Josh Thoughts and the Met Gala. But we're going
Did I not provide for the Met Gala? I thought I nailed it. You got the red carpet
Sure.
and
Sure.
It's
It's not always red.
imagine a jewel green carpet
And
and then Ninja Cat's just like rolling across it, like just getting all sequined on it, like right.
Please don't
Imagine that.
Please don't give me any shit for saying Ricky Martin when you just said Ninja Cat.
What did I say?
You said Ninja Cat.
What is that? What is it?
It's nothing. Her name is Doja Cat.
Ah, you're right. You're right. 1-0.
All right, so we are going to take a little break. And when we come back, Josh is going to do much better because we are going to play a Fast and Furious trivia with Bianca. So we will be right back. Welcome back, everybody, and we are joined by Bianca. How you doing, Bianca? You have missed a hell of a Josh Thoughts.
Really
It's going
very
great,
sad.
as you can see. I cannot provide you with context right now about the crystal ball, but when you listen to this episode, when it comes out, then you will have context.
Yeah, I don't want any clues because I'd rather just listen to it like a normal listener. Honestly, I feel cool right now because I feel like a guest, and that makes me feel fancy.
I'm so sorry.
Second time.
Party foul.
Second time this
No.
episode.
Well, one
Yeah.
for Josh, one for me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so you're even
Um,
now.
I am gonna put it in a glass though because I'm a classy lady.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Crystal balls need no explanation.
I'm not sure about that. I feel like I needed an explanation about the crystal ball, but I love that you have one.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
That's
need,
all I need.
I need no explanation about you having a crystal ball.
And that's all I need.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right.
There it
That's
is.
the real
There
one.
it is.
Yeah. There it is.
Bianca?
I don't need context clues for Josh having one.
No,
Another
absolutely
person,
not.
perhaps.
Perhaps, but it's on brand for Josh, right?
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
If that's my legacy, I'm good.
crystal balls.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is that you are going to do with us, but I would suggest that you start now.
First of all, Bianca, what
Excellent.
are you drinking?
I am drinking some Earl Grey tea.
Oh,
And it is,
boo. How much whiskey is in it?
If no one listening knew, because I've told every fucking person in my life, I am on the tail end of Whole 30, and it leads up to Gianna's bachelorette party. So I'm gonna get nice at Gianna's bachelorette party because Andrew is not doing reintegration the same way that I am, and he had 2 beers the other night and was down for the count.
That's awesome.
That's how I feel. I feel
am,
like it's like it's very sad that I've had like 2 like rum and cokes, and I'm like,
Well, that second one was
the
stout.
second one was hefty.
I
Yes.
almost reached for the crystal
Nice.
glass, the crystal ball, as I was going to take a drink, but that's not it.
Bianca, guess who we're also joined by?
Is it
Luna.
Come here.
Luna, come here.
Luna.
Come here. Hi.
There we go.
Oh,
Dog
hi,
and
Miss
baby.
Luna.
Oh, you're so good.
Oh,
You
my
want to ask
goodness.
Luna some trivia questions?
She will
Always.
snort
I
at you.
want to ask Luna questions. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hi, Luna. Oh my gosh.
Good girl.
Well,
Good girl, Luna. Okay.
I think
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
okay,
prime
yes,
time
okay.
to ask
And-
you guys some questions. I mean,
I
you're
I
fully
think-
ready.
Yeah.
Luna.
Ouch! Your ear,
Yeah.
your ear flap. Like
She does that. She does that.
Whipped me.
All right. Good girl.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
off.
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 Oh, now she's
Go,
sad
girl.
though. You invited her over there.
Yeah, she can stay here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good girl.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to ask you guys some trivia questions. I have 10 questions and a tiebreaker if we need. You guys are playing against each other. So at the end of the
Winning.
day, whoever answers the most questions right wins.
Honestly,
you also
it's a
have the
toss-up,
option to
like-
steal. Well, I
Ooh.
definitely listen. I wanted to make this as fair as possible.
Okay.
So
I'm excited.
you'll
I am
you'll
not.
understand
It's gonna
that
be
soon.
bad. Okay.
Okay. All right. So to see who gets to go first,
do we involve?
Josh,
Never mind. Sorry.
you might not get this reference, but I wanted to ask ducks or clowns.
She doesn't get it either.
Ducks or clowns? Oh,
Ducks or
ducks or clowns? Is this a Friends thing? It's a Friends thing when he thinks it's like on the coin. I think it's ducks or clowns.
they're trying to flip a coin, and he's
Right.
like heads or tail, or like
And
ducks is heads because ducks have heads.
heads.
And then
He's like,
Junior says,
what kind of
scary
freak
clowns are at
clowns?"
your birthday party? So,
Ducks or clowns?
Ducks.
ducks or clowns?
Dibs on ducks.
Ducks.
Okay.
Well,
Wait. So
that's
Josh's
my point.
heads.
wait.
Okay,
Okay. Because
okay.
because shout out to
Oh,
Bird.
like who goes first? Like you're actually
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
I chose
so
ducks.
I'll be clowns, yeah.
I chose ducks because shout out to Bird Note, the daily podcast about birds I listen to.
I just thought that I got the point, but I guess not.
No, that's the.
Okay. All right.
Well, it landed on tails. So if Gianna, you were clowns, you were tails.
Ducks
Okay.
have tails. Hell yeah, I go first. Go ahead.
Ask away, Bianca. It's not
Okay.
getting any
All
better
right.
over here.
So you're gonna have 15 seconds to answer the first question. Okay.
Hold on. After the 15
Af-
seconds, can I
after I-
steal?
Yes. If she doesn't get
Okay.
it, then you have the chance to steal.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
First question, Gianna. What is the name of Lady Gaga's male alter ego?
Can I steal?
Okay, Josh,
Yes, you can.
You have the chance to steal.
I'm going. Oh, you know who it is? It's
No.
No.
Your time's up. Your time
No,
is
do you
up.
know who it is? It's
Your time is
Joe
up.
Piano. It's Joe.
Pump Organ Joe.
It's
That's Pump Organ Joe.
It's Pump
Yeah.
Organ Joe.
It's got to be Pump Organ Joe.
Bianca.
Where-
if you
listen.
were here earlier, Pump Organ Joe.
Pump Organ Joe
We
is
love
probably
Pump Organ Joe.
yeah, like that. It's probably that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, honestly,
so I'm gonna
you guys are
I'm gonna
not
steal.
far off. Okay,
I'm gonna steal. Hold on. My first guess was Pump Organ Joe. My next guess is
Obviously.
Lord Greg. Is that not it?
Both incorrect.
Okay, shit.
Gianna,
We were
honestly,
so close.
You were close. Honestly, it is Joe Calderone, and she plays it. Joe Calderone does play the piano in the You and I music video. So
That's why I love Pump Organ Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was subliminally there.
If
Um,
I
okay.
was all there, that's why locking it in. Pump Organ Joe, final answer is
Okay.
the only
All right.
answer.
So
Incorrect.
0.3 points to Gianna.
I get half a point.
0.3. 0.3.
0.3?
0.3.
I just whatever.
All right, 0.6.
0.5 for Joe.
oh my
I'm
god.
giving you 0.6. That's
Okay.
even better.
All right, we'll see. I'll tally it up later. I don't think it's gonna matter.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? This is serious.
Okay, yeah. Question number 2
Yep.
is
My turn?
to Josh.
Okay.
Yes, your turn. Okay. What is the only museum in the United States that has a Leonardo da Vinci painting?
The Met Gala.
Gianna, would you like to try to steal?
What was the question?
What is the only museum in the United States that has a Leonardo da Vinci painting?
The California. The Oregon Museum of
The
the Washington, the Nevada Museum of
You know,
the
I'm
Idaho Museum
locking it
of,
in with Utah because we were talking about how much like Utah is a really beautiful state,
Yeah.
although like the death metal like Utah scene might be a little bit
it's
interesting.
not great. It's
but
not
it's
great.
a beautiful state, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna lock it in Utah.
It's probably the Utah Museum. This is for shared points, by the way.
Can
It
we
is-
split our points?
No, because nothing about any of that is correct.
Okay, Josh
We
said
had to
Met
be
Gala
close,
though,
though.
and that was an event, and he should know better because we just talked about the Met Gala.
Did we?
The correct The correct answer is the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C., and it is the
What did we
Ginevra
say?
da Vinci portrait.
We
You
obviously
said the
said
Met.
Utah.
Oh, we said Utah. That was
Obviously, Utah is
close. Utah
travel-
is geographically close to Washington.
it is a travel
No,
destination
in
for
DC, in Washington,
Leonardo
DC.
da Vinci fans.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was close. So I would say like
Okay.
she started with 0.6, but that's shared 0.6 between us. So she's at 1.2. I'm at 0.6.
Yeah,
Cool.
I would like a point
Okay.
receipt if that's okay.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh,
work
I'm
it out,
tallying
yeah.
it up. Right, it's
We'll,
in the
we'll run
doc.
it by the ATP APT bookkeepers later.
Gianna, this question is for you. At the 65th Annual Grammy Awards that took place this past week, though it was not aired, who took home the Grammy for Best Metal Performance?
you know it's gonna be even sadder because I won't get this, but it's gonna be really upsetting for you.
No, it's
So like this doesn't affect me at all.
You're out of time,
Clearly,
Gianna.
clearly I don't know the answer, but like it's more sad that you don't. know it.
no, it's because there's always this like yearly the underground metal community just kind of like peeks their heads out of a hole and like has a chuckle at whatever is nominated at the Grammys, and then we go back in the earth.
It wasn't even aired though. Like
No,
that's
well,
upsetting.
it never is. Well, it never is, and that's fine.
Is it?
But it's always like Fall Out Boy. Like that's my actual guess. It's like Fall Out Boy is the medal, or like, you know, like Stained or something. It's just stupid.
I had no idea.
Complete, like, nothing that they ever say is even somewhat close to anything.
I would like
So
to
my
say,
official guess is Fall Out Boy.
locking it in. What an excellent question that Bianca asked us that we are just
Thank you.
trashing
I
with
told
our
you I was trying to be
responses.
fair. No, I
Yeah.
was trying
Yeah.
to be like,
And
a
so
little
I can
bit
be I can
know.
like push up my glasses and be like, well, actually.
Yeah. So the correct answer, who won best metal performance at the Grammys this year, is Ozzy Osbourne for the song "Degradation Rules."
Right. So
Right.
Ozzy Osbourne, who was last relevant in like the 70s, although he did
He
just
did
announce his
that
retirement.
he will not be touring anymore
because he's got a bad
Right.
back.
Right. We did know that. Half a point.
Nice.
Both
Okay.
half
Okay.
points.
So you had 1.2, I had 0.6. So now I have 1.1 and you have 1.7. And I think the bookkeepers
Right.
would back that. Yeah. And Bianca would
Mhm.
clearly, yeah, she's keeping track.
Okay, Gianna,
Thank you,
this
Crystal.
question's for, or wait, no, Josh had the chance to steal, so it's Josh's turn.
I guess
Okay,
Fall Out Boy when
Josh.
the answer was Ozzy Osbourne. Go ahead.
I mean, good guess.
You should have guessed
Question
specifically
4.
Pete from Fall Out Boy, obviously.
Pete and Pete, The Adventures of Pete and Pete, Nickelodeon. Did you ever watch that show?
Oh.
Moving on. All right.
Josh,
Yeah.
what art movement was Yoko Ono associated with during the 1960s?
I want to say something, but I think it could be like, it's like if someone said, you know, is Death Karma black or death metal, and someone says death metal, and then someone else goes like, oh, are you kidding me? What is wrong with you?
I feel like I want to say like 5 things. I want to say like
I want to say Dada.
I mean, that's not the answer I was going for.
Dang. Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's like, I know it's wrong. I wanted to say it. I know it's wrong though.
I feel like I want to say like performance. I want to say like Fluxus. I want to say like feminist. I want to say like Yoko Ono is her own thing.
You know, Gianna, that's a very astute observation. However, this question, give me one final answer.
Yoko Ono.
Bono.
Yoko
The answer
Ono.
I had
Final
was-
answer is Yoko Ono.
You guys, it was Fluxus because we talked about this on the
I
Fluxus
know. I
episode.
said
But it's not-
Fluxus, but I'm locking it in Yoko Ono. I don't care. I don't care. That is my answer because she is her own thing. Even though Fluxus, Yoko Ono, lock it in.
All
Half
right.
a point.
Okay. All right.
Half a point for Joe. Half a point for Yoko.
All right. So half a point for
Half
both
a
of
point
us.
for Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're up
Okay,
to now
so-
2.2, and I'm at 1.7.
Gianna. Question
Oh,
number
no.
5.
Okay. Yes.
Lady Gaga and Beyonce have 2 songs together. One is Telephone. What is the other?
I only know Telephone.
I'm actually depressed now.
Yeah, I'm really feeling out my like Lady Gaga drunk trivia. The Beehive's gonna be really mad at me. I'm sure
You're
Josh
worried
knows
about the
answer.
Beehive?
I'm also worried about the Little Monsters. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Josh, your chance to steal.
Yeah. So it is clearly Chaos Magician of the Abyss.
No,
Correct.
It's
Is that not
Gore-
it?
It's Gorguts.
I knew it! I
It's
knew it!
Gorguts.
That's
Josh.
a band.
No,
That's the band that Lady Gaga did a guest appearance on their album.
with also Beyonce.
Yeah. That album.
It's Gorguts.
Was it not Chaos
correct
Magician of the
answer
Abyss?
Is video phone. So they have
Oh.
telephone And
What
then
is
they
video-
have Video Phone on Beyonce's I Am Sasha Fierce album.
Video phone is like
Oh.
FaceTime.
2008.
I was shocked that it was not Chaos Magician of the Abyss. So you should also add Chaos Magician of the Abyss to the Bachelorette playlist.
Yeah.
You'll know
Okay,
when it comes
I'm
up.
on it.
Mm.
All right, good.
Stop drinking your crystal.
I keep like unironically
Actually,
reaching for the crystal ball to drink. Sometimes I do it as a joke, and sometimes I'm like, you can't see my hand
And
off.
sometimes it's for real.
Sometimes you can't see my hand off the camera. I'm like, nope.
Number 6 is to Josh.
Mhm.
In the musical 6, there is an art historical
What?
bop about the portrait painter Hans Holbein.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
painting of one of Henry's wives by Holbein is said to have tricked Henry because it supposedly didn't end up looking like this wife. Which wife was this?
I think it was so in the seminal painting by Hieronymus Bosch, the Gardens of Earthly Delights. Garden of Earthly Delights.
It's a good one.
Right? It's a
Mhm.
triptych, isn't it?
It is.
So
I'm
there's
Gianna, you
so
made a TikTok
impressed
about-
with. Huh?
No, I'm just saying Gianna made a TikTok about this painting.
yeah. So she clearly remembers. So in that painting, which I'm pretty sure by now enough time has passed since you asked the question that I'm fairly certain you just said Hieronymus Bosch and nothing else. In that painting, there is
I think-
a person who is like sort of is it prostrate when you're on, like when you're face down, laying down? Is that prostrate?
I don't know.
I think so. So there's a person prostrate within a large, maybe crab or frog-like figure.
Uh-huh.
And on their buttocks is like very, very old music notation.
Okay.
And someone has transcribed that and put it in actual modern
Oh.
music. And
How does it sound?
well, I can't replicate that now, of course. So I think that that song is an ode to Elsbeth Binzenstock, and like I think that's kind of how I'm arriving at this conclusion that the song is paying tribute to her as a like patron of butt art, and that's my final answer. What was the question?
In the musical 6, there are 6 wives, and you couldn't name one of them.
The musical.
We said
6.
Elizabeth
I have
Binzenstock.
never
6
seen the
wives
musical
Of Henry
6.
Okay, but all you had to do was know that one of the names of the wives of Henry VIII, and the correct answer is Anne of Cleves. We're just gonna move on.
What? Is that not what we said?
I'm pretty sure Josh just spent like 5 minutes with this really long answer explaining to why he was
Listen,
right. So
I
Josh
will
Thank
give
you.
him
So
credit.
full
Josh
point to
gets
me?
full point.
Her-
Okay,
Hieronymus
so I'm
Bosch.
at 2.2. You're still at 3.2 though, so you're a full point ahead of me. All right, cool. We're in it.
What classical song does Edward play for Bella in the movie Twilight?
God damn
Claire
it!
de Lune.
What the shit? Why?
It's Claire
Full point.
You
Full
got one
point.
full point.
Hold on.
Full point.
Hold on.
4 point.
That's not a. Claire de Lune is near and dear to my heart, as it should be for all musicians.
Because of Twilight.
The hell is
Because
wrong
of
with you?
Twilight.
No. So 4.2 to 2.2. I'm pretty behind.
Yeah, but you can make it up with this one.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
What actress played the girl with the pearl earring in a movie?
Kirsten Dunst.
No, but you're not
The
far off.
answer is Scarlett
Kirsten
Johansson.
Stewart.
Gianna, that's correct. Kristen
Suck it.
Is it not Kirsten Stewart?
They're the
It
same
is
person.
Scarlett Johansson.
It's fine.
Okay.
I think Josh gets half a point.
Oh, sweet. Okay,
Yeah.
so 5.2.
5.2.
Or is it 4.2?
No, because I just got a full point. So 5.2.
5.2 to, you said half a point, so I'm at 2.7.
Gianna, next question is for you. Which metal band has the most Grammy wins for a metal performance ever? This is a multiple choice question.
Why is it
Oh.
Grammys? Why is it Grammys?
Tool. Because this is pop culture.
That's true.
B,
but
Nine Inch
hold on.
Nails. C, Metallica. And
Keeps
D,
happening.
Ministry.
Okay, D, Ministry. C, Metallica. B,
9 Inch Nails.
Nine
Tool.
Inch Nails.
9 Inch Nails.
And A is-
A,
was
Tool.
Is Tool.
What was the last one?
Ministry.
Ministry. What was the second to last one?
Metallica.
Metallica. Metallica's the only one I know, so I'm gonna say Metallica.
The correct answer is Metallica, and Lady Gaga has performed with Metallica at the Grammys before.
What's a Metallica song?
1. I'm very sorry. That was probably so close to your face.
Do you see what I've had to deal with this whole time?
She's been
Bianca?
calling this a piano.
Josh said that
the
you
entire
weren't
time.
even real. He
The
asked me
entire
a question,
time,
and
she's
he
been like,
said
"Look
that
at that piano.
Bianca
That
doesn't. What if
piano
Bianca
is just-
doesn't even
it's-
exist?
I love your piano. It's great. Piano's awesome. Hey, Bianca. How's it going?
Question number 10 is to Josh.
Hold on.
I get
Oh,
a
this
full
is a
point,
good
so now
one.
I'm at 6.2.
You're at
points.
6.2 and I'm at 2.7. I'm pretty far behind. Also, that question
Also, that question was pretty easy because if the only band I knew was Metallica from a pop culture perspective, it was probably going to be Metallica, right?
Yeah,
Process
Because
it
from
is.
a Grammy basic
Yeah,
perspective.
very basic. And also, like, if we're gonna go with, like the multiple choice things, let's do the rundown, right?
I was going to
One,
say,
Tool sucks. Come at me, Tool fans. I will defenestrate all of you. Be prepared to
Josh,
be
this
flensed.
podcast is exclusively a Tool fandom podcast. You just pissed off a lot of Tool fans.
They're the worst people alive.
Okay, question number 10 is to Josh.
She's so desperate.
This
to
is a
be
good
done
one
with
for
us.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many versions of The Scream by Edward Munch are there?
Oh.
Oh, you would know this one.
No, I would not know the number, but I remember being very fascinated by the idea that an artist could make a masterwork. And then when I found out that there were multiple versions of it, that he just did more than one, that's like that idea of that, like, to me as a musician, it was like, okay, there's Beethoven's Ninth or Beethoven's Fifth or Mahler's any of his symphonies.
Ask me what medium the Scream painting is done on, because I know that.
Hold on. So there was like cardboard. He did one on cardboard.
Right, yeah.
Just like a cardboard
That's
sheet.
my answer, cardboard.
And
Lock
so
it in.
and like when I found that out, I was like, okay. And then also on some of the versions, the colors are way more like grayscale.
Mhm.
And then when I learned that, I was like, that's fascinating.
So are we thinking like 5? Are we thinking like 20? It's not more than that.
No, I'm thinking 4.
4.
4
I was
to
gonna
5.
say 5. Okay.
Let's say I'm
Josh's
gonna say
answer is 4 to 5.
I'm gonna say 4.5. 4. 5.
Final answer?
4. 4.
What's your final answer? 4 is correct.
Yes, I said 4. I said 4. I've always said 4.
Josh gets a full
Nice.
point.
I get 4 points.
Josh gets a full point. I get half a point for saying
Nice.
cardboard.
Yeah. So I said 4, so I get 4 points.
Mm-hmm.
So that takes me to 6.7.
Oh,
But then you were at 6.2, so now you got half a point. So that's a tie. You said you had a tiebreaker.
God,
Okay,
we tied.
I have a
Tiebreaker.
tiebreaker.
We had
I have a
6.7
tiebreaker.
points both. So yeah,
Tiebreaker.
and none
That's
of
fair.
the point telling was shady. So let's go.
Question.
Final answer for the win. In the spirit
Hold on,
of...
is this like a buzz in kind of thing? Like first to an
yeah,
first
you
to
do.
answer.
Yeah,
let's
have to
do-
answer
yeah.
first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the spirit of the Super Bowl happening tomorrow, Miss Rihanna is making her performance debut since 2018. That's the last time she performed. So the question is, which Met Gala theme was Rihanna the co-chair of?
Was it Heavenly Bodies? I remember her outfit from that one.
Fantastic Creatures.
Fantastic Creatures.
Neat.
Fantastic Four. I wouldn't
Jessica
say,
Alba.
I just remember her Heavenly Bodies outfit.
Was he
so
not?
because she had the Pope hat, so I'm gonna say Heavenly Bodies. I don't know, Bianca.
Heavenly Bodies is correct, Gianna.
Oh my
I
god!
was saying that this
win!
whole time. Yes, I win. Yes. Nice job. Teamwork makes the dream work.
My gosh! Wow! Whew, what a
Oh,
roller coaster
man.
that was.
Oh,
I'm so proud of you guys.
we did
Thank
it.
you.
We did it.
it. We crushed it.
Good
Team
job.
effort.
Yeah.
You really did. I see. I
Amazing.
hope that as the moderator and person who made these questions, that they were fair. That was all that I wanted, was that you guys felt like it was justice was served during the trivia game.
Hold on. Let me. No, I'm not gonna do it. Never mind. Okay, I was gonna say. Okay, well then, let me throw back to you and finish this. Who? If you said "And Justice Was Served," then I say, okay, "And Justice for All" was an album by.
Metallica.
Thank you.
I get a whole another point then.
Damn it! I lost. The hell is this? It's rigged.
Yeah, some biased art news up in here.
Congratulations.
Stop
Gianna.
drinking your crystal.
It tastes too good.
That's not proper crystal care. I just want to say,
It's probably true. Windex, maybe?
Bianca, I so appreciate you being here on this episode, and we appreciate all
I'm
the
truly
art
honored.
tarts tuning in literally for this chaos. I'm never been this happy in my entire life.
It did go very far off the rails, and whoever stuck it out and followed us to the end, I appreciate it too.
Oh
Thank
my
you very
gosh.
much.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
well, we
nice.
hope you enjoyed this special segment of Josh Thoughts Drunk Edition. Bianca, thank you for being our lovely moderator and putting up with us. But I think with
Anytime.
that, I think it's time to go. And Josh and I, I think we're gonna finish our drink and call it a day, because we started this at 2:30 and it is now 6 o'clock. So we will talk to you all in 2 Tuesdays.
Cheers and thank you.